When you think about engineering in space, chances are you're picturing something familiar. Maybe it's the warp core of the Enterprise, with Geordi LaForge calling out power fluctuations and Data rerouting isolinear chips on the fly. Or it's Kaylee in the belly of Serenity, coaxing miracles out of a machine that's held together with duct tape and a prayer. Despite the technobabble, those scenes are really about people. They're character-driven moments showcasing the tension of keeping a ship alive and the pride of getting through the worst-case scenarios as a crew. Star Citizen's engineering system is shaping up to be the first real attempt to turn that fantasy into gameplay. We've seen the early test footage, we've heard the leaks, and now it's gone to Wave 1 on the tech preview. It's glorious. And if CIG executes on even half of what they're building, this could be the most important gameplay shift Star Citizen has ever seen. But let's be clear about what that means. There are people who want to fly massive ships alone, gunships, haulers, support cruisers, running the whole operation from the pilot's seat. And until now, they've largely been able to do that. Solo bounty runs with a Corsair and the Constellations gave you gunship-level firepower and larger ship shielding with a single occupant, all because the systems were shallow enough that you didn't really need help. But that's going to change. If the new engineering mechanics are meaningful, soloing big ships is going to be inefficient, risky, maybe even impossible in certain situations. That's by design, and honestly, I think that's amazing. Look, the promise of Star Citizen was never just about the big ships and awesome graphics. It's about simulating a life in space as part of a crew, down to the smallest detail. It's about making starships alive, and there's facilities for you to live in your ship to accomplish that. To be sure the game isn't punishing solo players, it's rewarding cooperation instead. Think of it as depth, not exclusion here. And yeah, I guarantee some people are going to hate it. Of course, none of this is accidental. We could already feel the shape of what's coming by looking at the new system CIG has been layering in over the last few years. Engineering terminals, item ports, physicalized components, none of these were added just for visual flavor. They've been laying the groundwork for this moment. This also sets the stage for Star Citizen to deliver something that almost no other game has pulled off. Functional, high-stakes crew gameplay that feels authentic, not gamified minigames stapled to the side, but the core of how ships function. Star Trek Online, the game based on the glorification of teamwork in space, never even tried, which was incredibly disappointing. Star Trek Bridge Crew took a swing, but it was shallow. Star Wars Galaxies got closest with on-the-fly repairs in large player ships, but it was still very limited by the tech at the time. The point is, no one's nailed it. This is the first time a game might actually pull it off with real systems, real pressure, and real consequences, and I know it's going to be controversial. Some players will rage and scream on Spectrum. They'll say they were sold ships they expected to run solo with AI crew that might actually never be a thing in game. They'll say it's too complicated, too hard to coordinate, too punishing for solo play. But this has to happen. For Star Citizen to become what it's meant to be, there have to be ships that simply don't work at peak unless they're crewed. If you can solo, say, a Carrack indefinitely from jump to jump without ever needing help, then no one else on board really ever matters. And that kills the fantasy faster than any bug or 30K ever could. It's not just solo players that are impacted. For engineering to work, we'll have to change how we play the game. Star Citizen has preached about death of a spaceman for over a decade now, how dying has consequence and the game rewards intelligent gameplay over zerging. I buy into that, and I think it's important in a world that's trying to feel real that it's not a mindless respawn fest. Items are physicalized, everything is unique and it matters, but in the game right now, your ship is completely disposable. We claim them sometimes multiple times during a play session because of either being destroyed, eaten by the hangar elevator, or some other nefarious bug. We are completely careless with them because nothing really matters long term. But for engineering to have meaningful gameplay, we need the final version, where claiming your ship is the absolute last thing you want to do. There has to be a real loss from doing that which makes repair and all of the engineering matter. We have to care about these ships and want to save them. That's the part I want to see next. Engineering needs to be delivered with changes to the claim system, and that opens the door for a type of emergent gameplay Star Citizen has flirted with, but never fully delivered. Maybe your ship takes a hit mid-mission after your shield went down, then the power flickers. Someone bolts down the hallway, hits the access panel, and reroutes power before a secondary system overheats. That's emergent gameplay. It's the crew doing what needs to be done in real time. This is where the fantasy of the bridge crew, the engine room tech, the unsung hero with a spanner in hand finally has a place in a video game that respects that fantasy. This is the kind of design that elevates a game from sandbox to simulation. It forces you to rely on people, and that means new dynamics will emerge. Roles will matter, trust will matter, and your experience will depend not just on your ship or loadout, but the human element. You'll remember the run where your engineer kept your shields online just long enough to win the fight. Maybe most importantly, it gives smaller ships their identity too. Not everything needs a team of 5 to operate. But now, if you're flying solo, it's a conscious choice to embrace simplicity or vulnerability. That's powerful design. If CIG nails this, it'll change how we talk about the game. It will change how people think about being a character in Star Citizen itself. Imagine a whole generation of players who just want to be engineers, people who live for rerouting power, managing coolant under pressure, fighting literal onboard fires all during an enemy boarding action. There is nothing else like that in gaming today. And more importantly, it means every ship can have its own identity, as being one of the crew of a well-run ship has immense value. This kind of depth invites stories, not the scripted kind CIG tells, but the ones you tell your friends the next day. We would have lost that run if Sarah hadn't fixed the generator in only a few seconds. That's the kind of emergent gameplay you can't fake. It's systemic and dynamic. CIG can build the systems, put them in the player's hands, and then get out of the way. Engineering's just one piece of that. CIG needs to hold the line here. Don't give in to the people that want a simpler system. Let them bitch. You don't make space feel real by making everything easy. You make it real by making it matter. That's something Star Citizen is uniquely positioned to deliver on. No other game has built this kind of scaffolding for people to define themselves by a role that doesn't revolve around a crosshair. For the first time, your main character could be someone who never pulls a trigger, never hauls cargo, never mines, just someone who knows how to keep a ship together while everything else falls apart. And you better believe orgs will recruit for that. This also makes larger ships feel earned. Right now, owning something like an Idris or a Kraken mostly means showing off your wallet. But once engineering drops and your systems can fail mid-fight, suddenly that big, expensive ship becomes a liability if you don't have the team to run it. And that's the way it should be. Power should come with responsibility and requirements. It's a massive change to the tone of the whole game. For the better. We always talk about immersion. We want the game to feel like a place, not a product. Well, this is how you do it. Not with fancier clouds or new skins, but with systems that force you to rely on others. Systems that reward planning, communication, and yes, sometimes blind panic when something goes wrong and you're the only one who can fix it. That's the kind of gameplay that makes everything else feel real. So here we are. It's early, sure. Things will change, systems will get tuned, and feedback will shape the rollout. But the vision is clear and it's bold. Star Citizen is making the call to double down on crew gameplay. Not fake crew gameplay where everyone's just another gun. Real, mechanical, system-level interaction that can't be ignored. And that's gonna piss some people off. Good. It should. Progress always does. Not everyone wants to adapt, and not everyone should have to. But if this game is going to be what it claims to be, a living, breathing space sim where ships are more than just flying guns, then this is the way forward. It's going to be messy. It's going to be chaotic, and it's going to be brilliant. I'll see you in the engine room. I wanted to take a moment and say thanks for making it this far. I've been trying to hold myself to a higher standard and only publish videos when I have something to say, which is counter to how the algorithm rewards views and video reach. Star Citizen is more exciting than ever, but it's not to the daily or even 3 times a week phase in my opinion yet, and I don't want to waste your time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider sharing it and giving it a like as it helps so much. If you made it this far, you're already a member of the crew, so get subscribed because there's so much more to talk about. If you want to support the channel further, there's the join button or my referral link to the Impound. I want to thank my channel members specifically, as you keep me motivated and I really appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.